evening, everybody. It is with great pleasure that I'm here today, not only because it's Barcelona, but it's a very special day for us. So, welcome to the ReefShark launch event. My name is Jane Reigard, and I am heading the Nokia 5G marketing. And as we're now starting in Mobile World Congress, it is busy as ever, but I would say for some of us it is very nice to be extra busy this year. At the end of January, we had two big announcements from our side. So first of all, we launched our FutureX architecture for 5G. It's one of our Build Labs brainchilds, and we believe it's the network architecture for the future. Secondly, which is why we're here, I will actually leave the details to the speakers to tell more. So first we will hear from Risto Silasmaa, who is the chairman of the Nokia board. And we are lucky enough that he'll be sharing a brief insight on one of these very big passions. And after Risto, I'm happy to welcome Mark Rand, the president of our mobile networks. And Mark will talk a little bit about what this launch is such big news, not only for us, but also for our customers, and what we can get from benefits and efficiencies from it. And then, after this, I'm very happy to say we have a special guest. So, Sandra Rivera from our partner Intel Corporation. Sandra is the Senior Vice President and General Manager, Networks Platform Group. And she will be talking about the importance of the silicon technology in the 5G world. So, finally, in the end, we will have a short overview of what is actually ReefShark for those of you who did not read my very carefully scripted press releases. So I'm happy to say that we will have Henry Tervonen joining us. Henry is the Mobile Network CTO and the head of the R&D Foundation, and he will tell us much more. So with this, I would like to welcome on stage Risto. The floor is yours.
So hello everybody, it's great to be here. We have some exciting news to share with you. But first, a little bit of background. A few years ago, after we divested our handset business to Microsoft, we had a once-in-a-lifetime luxury. We were able to reinvent a 150-year-old company. You don't get that opportunity very often. So we spent quite a long time thinking about what will the world be like in 2020, 2025, and what kind of technology will make the difference in that next decade. And we came to a conclusion, or to an idea, a vision of a programmable world, a world where we can program what will happen after certain events. We can program the logic into the world. And because of that opportunity to create that programmable world, we also understood the importance of end-to-end networking. Not just piecemeal, best-in-class solutions, but actually the opportunity to create value by being end-to-end. And because of 5G and related technologies such as network slicing, that opportunity will be much, much bigger than ever before. To create that end-to-end scope, we decided to acquire Alcatel-Lucent in 2015. That acquisition brought us routing capabilities, leading fixed network solutions, and optical technologies. It also brought Bell Labs to lead our research effort. In line with our end-to-end thinking, we have embarked on a number of very significant multi-year investment programs. Not the least among these was a focused investment into silicon. It is one of the fruits of that investment that we are celebrating here today. ReefShark has a big role as an enabler of key services and functionality. It also stands as one more milestone on our path to providing unique end-to-end competitiveness to our customers. We could not have created ReefShark as fast just a few years ago. For without a real DevOps culture, we would never have been able to achieve this in such a short time frame. So that's more good news to us Nokians. Key to our decision to invest in in-house silicon innovation is the fact that 5G systems and 5G system performance is ultimately defined by the performance of the silicon itself. But this is by far not our first silicon innovation. Last summer we launched the revolutionary Nokia FP4 chips, the brains of the fastest IP routing platform on Earth. In its largest configuration, a single FP4 router could route half the world's internet traffic based on 2017 figures in a single node. And such is the power of customized silicon innovation. Today we are about to revolutionize mobile networks, delivering the scalability and intelligence to fulfill the exacting demands and massive scale of 5G. This is what ReefShark will do for us. But it will do much more. Machine learning is perhaps the key technology powering the advancements of the next several decades. We as Nokia have embarked on a broad initiative in all parts of the company to embrace machine learning in everything we do. This program is based on 5 streams executed in parallel. The first one is education. We will not only train all our 36,000 R&D people in machine learning, we will teach the basics to all our 100,000 plus employees. The second stream is building world-class expertise to both research new machine learning techniques and help in the most demanding development projects. We are doing this through Bell Labs, which has a long history in the field. Those of you who know convolutional neural networks know that they were invented in Bell Labs by Jan LeCun. The third stream is creating a data strategy. This covers both IT solutions to enable us to flexibly use the data that we have access to, but also predict what data do we need to create the competitiveness driving our success 5 or 10 years into the future. The fourth stream is using machine learning internally to drive quality and efficiency. We do this on a wide scale throughout everything we do. The fifth one is what we are focused on today. ReefShark is an example that enables us to use machine learning in our products and services to bring benefits to our customers. With the immense computational power of ReefShark, we can not only use trained neural networks in all our various products, but also train new solutions on the fly in real time at the edge of our network. ReefShark chips will, for instance, allow us to use machine learning to automate fundamental radio system functions, such as tuning the power amplifiers and optimizing massive MIMO beam steering capabilities. With this new wave of machine learning, the radio system will become truly self-aware, understanding the environment and the context in which it is operating. 5G, with its almost unlimited optimization opportunities, will be an excellent platform to automate with machine learning. Let's see a short video about that. You just saw an illustration of a small neural network acting as a classifier. You saw the neurons firing. But change your perspective, and instead of thinking about that as a single neural network, think about each of the neurons as an operator network component with ReefShark inside. Because the operator network is the biggest computer there is. And with ReefShark chips in every single component that we do, we provide immense opportunities for that world's largest computer. And you can all use this edge computing platform via the APIs we make available to provide AI-driven services to all your users from the edge of your network. All this capability in something so small as a ReefShark chip. It's almost amazing, isn't it? But that's the beauty of silicon innovation and the reason why we have chosen this exciting path. And we are fortunate to have all this expertise in-house. Nokia Bell Labs AI innovations, the device integration capabilities, decades of RF experience, and of course, the subject here, silicon. So I have introduced ReefShark. I have discussed the importance of AI, and I have hinted at exciting times to come as we enter the 5G Future X world. And finally, who here thinks that change has never been as fast before as it's today? Hands up. Is change faster today than ever before? I think you're all thinking about it wrong. You should be thinking that change will never ever again be as slow as it is today. Because that way of thinking about it makes you think about actions you can take. It's not just a fact, it's something that makes you feel you want to act. And that's how we feel in Nokia. Thank you all.
Thanks, Risto. I find it's really, really fascinating that we are thinking about how to empower the full network with artificial intelligence. And I know that we always say that this looks good and it's probably looking good on video. I would encourage all of you to actually go and see some of it in real life working over here. So we will get 5G. We have 5G. It's super smart. It's super efficient. And we have brain power all the way to the edge of the network. So with this, I also think we need to hear about ReefShark and the differences that it makes for us in a slightly different angle. And in this way, I'm very happy to introduce Mark Wren. Welcome on stage.
Thank you. I like to think of Nokia as a knowledge and technology company. And bringing ReefShark chipset, which is massive compute capability, together with the way of thinking, which is what we call Future X. We invented the way the networks will develop over time, is making me very proud of the work done by the Bell Labs and the teams. When we did ReefShark and the Future X, we focused on two things. We focused on performance, but also costs, lowering the cost of the networks. So think of it, this Future X architecture, and ReefShark is the engine across the access, the RF, the compute, and the cloud that is bringing this architecture to life. And it's a unique offering that we have. The way we design the networks allows to scale it massively over time in a very fluid manner, because we can put the compute where we want in this architecture. And it allows to bring these new slices where you can choose what services and what performance you consume. So in order to boost this Future X architecture, we made a decision years ago that we would invest in silicon. We decided to invest in our own silicon, in in-house knowledge to design our future engines. So see ReefShark as the next generation of Nokia in-house silicon. Why is that? Because we want to differentiate. We want to have the competitive advantage of bringing our own knowledge into our chips. And we want to be able to bring those chips again and again on a yearly basis to the market, to shape the market, and to bring the smartness to the network that we have in our knowledge company. But bringing our technology is not enough. We want to bring the openness to the market, because we think that if we can reach out to all the ideas that are around the networks, then we can accelerate the new technologies. So ReefShark and the FutureX architecture are designed to be open with our partners, technology partners that can bring their own technology, but also with the startups of the world and the operators of the world who can directly act and work into the chips. It's a unique offering in the market. No other vendor, as they are opening their architecture and opening their engines like we do. And if we manage to bring this openness to the market, we are going to accelerate the market. Because openness brings time to market. And that's our bet. That's the bet of Nokia, to speed up the market through openness. And that's ReefShark. So if I want to give you a couple examples of what ReefShark could be doing for you, think of Massive MIMO. Massive MIMO is the capability to bring RF to the user, to beam the RF to the user. Well, ReefShark allows to shrink the size of those antennas that you put on the mast by a factor 2, which is a massive advantage, right? It reduced the power consumption of the baseband, the compute, this massive compute that we have, by 64%. And we all know that in a network, the compute of the radio is where the OpEx is driven from. We have announced a throughput of the baseband, this compute engine, of up to 84 gigabit per second. What is 84 gigabit per second? Well, let me give you an example. If you take the traffic of this year's Super Bowl event, right? One Nokia baseband could digest that traffic. And if you chain it into one node, we could do 100 Super Bowl traffic in one cell. Right? Imagine how much you can do. I'll just give you a benchmark. When I'm talking 84 gigabit per frame, our competitor, Ericsson, is talking 2 gigabits. 84, 2. Now, we do 2 gigabits today with LTE. No need for 5G. We're demonstrating 2 gigabit LTE today. That's basic 4G. If you want to go to the next step, you need much more power than that. So that's where we're taking the next steps. So already today, we have embarked 30 customers around the world to test, experiment ReefShark, but also to tell us what is next. What do they want next year? What type of ReefShark new family members they want, so that we can power their markets. So join us, and let's build the next rollout of the ReefShark and FutureX. Thank you.
Thanks, Mark. I like the fact that it will keep me busy for the years to come, right? It's good to know. But I think it's also important that we look at the bigger picture of it, because Risto mentioned openness, and I know from Mark it's a very, very close thing to his heart, and we can probably talk a long time about it. But we need to make sure that we embrace all of the openness for the sake, not only for our part, but also for our customers. As Mark said, it's about time to market. So this also means we need to open up in how we collaborate and how we partner. And for this, we're working with some of the world's leading companies, and I'm very happy tonight to actually introduce and welcoming Sandra Riera from the Intel Corporation.
I don't have a chip there. No. Good afternoon. Thank you. My name is Sandra Rivera, and I head up the network infrastructure business for Intel, which is part of the broader data center group. And I'm also the executive sponsor for 5G across the corporation. I would like to thank Nokia, our partners, very much. It's not every day the silicon chip manufacturing ingredient technology company gets invited to a large stage with our customers. So I appreciate very much being able to share with you how excited we are with the ReefShark innovations and the launch that we're talking about today. If you look at how quickly the world is changing and how much technology is touching all of our lives. Nowhere do we see that more than in all the devices that you're using right now. Your smartphones, our tablets, our PCs. The pace of innovation is getting faster and faster, but apparently not fast enough, according to Risto. And one of the things that you may not be aware of is how much that technology innovation is counting on silicon manufacturing process technology. Gen on gen, every generation of process node technology is looking to pack more and more billions of transistors on an ever smaller footprint of a silicon chip with greater performance, lower power, more capabilities in order to deliver solutions like ReefShark that are ever more powerful, lower cost, more efficient, and more capable. And Intel is at the forefront of this technology innovation, providing leadership to the industry and partnering closely with our customers to bring innovations that meet the needs of their customers to the world. 5G represents a major transformation. It is a highly disruptive technology, not only because of all of what we'll see in terms of their air interface innovations, many of which Nokia has spoken about in terms of leadership in millimeter wave and RF technology, in massive MIMO and beam forming technology. All of these air interfaces innovations are really designed to give us much more capacity and coverage. But adding to the innovation on the radio side is, of course, all of the innovation that's happening across the network. As Mark shared, it's in the access network, it's in the edge of the network, in the core, all the way out to the cloud. And this idea of programmable distributed computing throughout that spectrum end to end, from the client device to the cloud, is critical to continue to innovate and bring new capabilities and new solutions that meet our customers' requirements. We're delighted to have been on this path of innovation with Nokia. They have provided clearly leadership in all of their IP, in their system on chip knowledge and capability, in their system integration capabilities that they're bringing to their customers. And we have provided the manufacturing process technology and packaging technology innovations that have created this wonderful new innovative product, ReefShark. We look forward to many new innovations that will come in the era of 5G. You heard about artificial intelligence and data analytics, machine learning, all of these now being driven and delivered much, much closer to the endpoints, much closer to the devices that you have here today, but also to the drones and the robots and the autonomous cars that will become ever more pervasive in the future. So with that, I would like to now turn it over to hear from Henry, talking about this wonderful ReefShark launch that we're celebrating tonight. Thank you.
So Nokia ReefShark chipset family was launched in January, and it's very special because it helps to optimize the network performance and affordability for the future networks. There's a very special requirement or need in the future networks because of the ever-increasing data traffic that gets transmitted over the air in 5G. Crucial part of Nokia 5G Future X network architecture is a base station, and that's where we have the ReefShark baseband chipset. It performs the key baseband functionalities in the baseband unit. And what's special in it is that it has an embedded neural network accelerator that helps to optimize the scheduling performance, especially in the cell edge. Another key part of Nokia 5G Future X network architecture is RF. And a key functionality in the RF is to linearize the power amplifier. And that's where we have the ReefShark digital front-end chipset. What's special in this chipset is that it's built on a leading-edge silicon technology node. Another key part of the RF and the antenna is the mixed signal and analog part of it. And for that we have the ReefShark RFIC. What it does basically, it integrates critical components of the RF chain to optimize the size of the product and the performance. So we are optimizing and integrating power amplifiers, RF switches and low noise amplifiers to single package. And that's a key innovation that we have in the RFIC. It helps us to build half the size of the massive MIMO products that we are currently building. Nokia ReefShark chipset makes us the leader of 5G.
So thank you, Sandra, for joining us and talking about, actually, as you can hear, the very, very important part of silicon in 5G. We keep talking about separating hardware and software, but there are some things underneath that we need to have that processing part. So as always, and for those of you who know me, I like to talk about 5G, so this is one of the opportunities. We often hear about what we need to use it for, and we have some pretty good cases out here. We now heard about how we create the technology to actually connect this world with 5G. And as we are transforming and shaping the technologies, we are also transforming, as Risto also mentioned, how we live our lives and the human experience of it. We believe, as said, that ReefShark is a very much heart of the solution, so for the 5G and also for our future X architecture. So it's taking time. I think there was a couple of mention of years involved, and I just would like really to make sure that you know the hard work has been done, and with that, the guy that's been doing a lot of it, Henry, welcome on stage.
I guess I don't need this. It's fine. Thanks, Jane, and hello, everyone. It's really great to be part of this time when 5G is coming to life. And it was only 6 months ago or so when we were all planning to bring 5G to life 2020 and maybe trialing next year. But now trialing is happening as we speak, and commercial networks will be in the early 19. So ReefShark chipset family is really, it has some special acceleration techniques for machine learning. And if you think of an illustration of having the mobile network with the RF, with the basebands, with the edge clouds, the central clouds, all of those locations embedded with machine learning capabilities and massive compute power, you can imagine the network becoming a huge, world's largest distributed computer. It becomes basically the brains of everything that we can do in the future. And if you think of the capabilities of the chipsets themselves, you can really have so many things accelerated, so many things processed in parallel when the whole network has this compute power embedded. So the offline and online neural network processing of the network can be utilized for many functions. Obviously, in the mobile network, you have many, many functions which help to improve the network performance, and this acceleration in the chipsets will help do all that. So when the operator network is filled with compute power from the ReefShark chipset, then it becomes really the brain of the whole system. With that, I would like to thank you all for sharing in the excitement we have together here, building 5G to life today, as well as launching the chipsets that we have built for many years. It's good to have them live now. So with that, I would invite you all to come. If you have any questions, we can talk over drinks, and thank you all for coming here. Jane, please.
Thank you. So as you can hear, Henry will be around, and I really encourage you all to come and join, right? This is the time that you have access to hear the parts. So thank you very much for being here. We know that Mobile World Congress, and most likely on a Monday, is one of the busiest times to actually invite you here, so I'm really happy to see you all. At the same time, I hope you'll have a fantastic week and maybe see you again. Please join us for the parts that there is. Any feedback, I'm more than happy to hear that. And also, again, please stay for a little bit longer. There's drinks around the corner and there's people to talk with, so thank you very much.